All right, well, come on in. Let's get TikTok on board. Second. All right, and oop. And TikTok is on as well. Help all as well. I am Thomas on YouTube. I am Thomas, and this is kind of I go over I go over true crime, famous places, so on and so forth. So it's a lot of pop culture stuff, and this is almost like a video cast or a podcast, you might say. It just covers stories that normally I wouldn't be able to cover, right? In a audio form. So take it for what it is. It's an audio form, right? Nothing creative about it. It's just informative and just sharing the stories as I come across it, which I think is interesting. So this one is a short one. It comes out of Colorado. A Colorado man was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole on Friday, which is back in Friday of the week of April 18th of 2025, for stalking his wife while posing as her ex-boyfriend and then murdering her. Acts that the woman's father said were pure, selfish evil that had robbed the couple's three children of their parents. The mandatory sentence came a day after jurors found Daniel Kurg, 44, guilty of first-degree murder for killing his wife, Crystal, shortly before Christmas in 2023, as well as criminal impersonation and stalking that made her fear for her family. The couple's children are now being raised by Crystal Krug's brother and his wife, with help um, from their extended family, including her father. Our entire family will never be the same. They told the family of Crystal, they told Judge Priscilla Lowe before the sentence was imposed. With his marriage to Crystal Krug falling apart, prosecutors said Daniel Krug decided to play puppet master by scaring his wife and then trying to win her back by protecting her from the fake stalking, uniting them in what he thought would be against a common threat. Crystal Krug had kept a log tracking the increasingly threatening texts and emails that suggested she was being watched. As police investigated the messages, prosecutors said Daniel Krug began to realize that he could face criminal charges and started plotting how to end his wife's life to silence her, and because she didn't want to be with him anymore. Prosecutors said he waited for her to return to his suburban Denver home on December 14th of 2023 after taking two of their children to school. He then apparently had attacked her from behind and knocked her unconscious before the fatal stab in the heart. At the time of the killing, the ex-boyfriend was a 8-hour drive away in Utah, where he was living, according to investigators. Now, the defense had stressed there was no physical evidence or DNA linking him to the violent killing, noting that there was no blood found in his car or his clothes. There was nothing, they said. Crystal Krug was a biochemical engineer who was also a talented dancer, as described by family and friends. Fiercely smart, funny, and creative. Her cousin, Becky Einoff, said that Daniel Krug had ripped a gaping hole in the hearts of everyone who loved her. The manipulation that he displayed in torturing Crystal and her children knew no bounds, and the terror he inflicted on her and her children is unimaginable, she said. At the request of prosecutors, Judge Lowe found that Daniel Krug's crimes were acts of domestic violence. In addition to the life sentence imposed for the murder conviction, the judge also added in another 9.5 years to his sentence for the stalking and the criminal impersonation convictions. DA in the case said that the motive was control, saying that Daniel Krug's actions were an example of depravity. Krug chose not to speak before he was sentenced. His older brother Jeremy was the only person to address the judge from his side of the family. Jeremy Krug said that the family had held out hope that someone else was responsible for what happened and did not learn of the evidence linking his brother to the crimes until the trial. He expressed grief. He expressed grief for the couple's children and said he had hoped his own children would be able to see their cousins. We love him, and God forgive him what he has done. Well, I guess it should have been for what he has done, which is just, I don't know what goes through someone's mind. Really warped, and he really apparently had this planned out. Daniel Krug's lawyers had alleged that the sloppy police work had failed to keep Crystal Krug safe before she was killed and then bludgeoned the investigation to her death. This whole elaborate scheme. The detective who investigated the stalking that Crystal Krug had first reported in October of 2023 was lazy and incompetent, they said. The defense also stressed that the police failed to test Crystal Krug's phone for fingerprints, even though that they had alleged Daniel Krug sent texts from it after killing her. Prosecutors said that Daniel Krug, he wanted to be seen as cool as a cucumber, getting his regular morning coffee before heading into work, and also likely planned to wear gloves so he would not leave any DNA linking him to the killing. According to investigators, too, the email account that was used to send messages to Crystal Krug was created on a computer network at Daniel Krug's workplace. A burner phone used to send some of the texts was purchased with a gift card registered to Daniel Krug, and it was found to have been in the same general location as his phone. Also, to note, three of the home surveillance cameras, which Crystal Krug's mother said she installed because of the recent stalking, were not recording when she was found. The one in the garage was covered in tape. The defense said the tape also had DNA from an unknown source. Prosecutors had said that Daniel Krug told police that he thought the ex-boyfriend was to blame for her killing, but again, police confirmed that the man was at home in Utah when his wife was killed.
The truth about Bob
Saw this case what I thought was interesting. It was on the body cam YouTube page. Um, Very intriguing, very elaborate. Everything was just for show, for show. And he will, be in jail for the rest of his life. So some of the evidence, and he won't be eligible for parole, but some of the evidence presented at his murder trial, with the fake social media identities, phony email address, burner phones, and he was trying to scheme as well how to throw investigators off his tracks, get him off of his back, and go into a different direction. Give you an example of some of the messages here. Quote, I go to Boulder every few weeks and thought we could hook up. You game? Read a text message to Krug's wife 2 months before she passed away. It used the name of a man she had been briefly dated more than 20 years ago. Another message from the same number featured a photo of Krug walking into work, apparently in an effort to convince his wife that both of them were being threatened. Quote, this your husband? The text stated. He needs to drive safe. Your license plate expired. Gotta fix that. So the husband, Krug, he took the photo himself, sent the message to his wife. More messages. You don't belong in that big house. You belong with me. I'll get rid of him, and then we could be together. For instance, so he did that to make him look like he was in danger himself. And many of the attempts to frame the ex-boyfriend often contain vulgar sexual references, threats, and some tried to kind of establish proof that Krug's wife had been unfaithful. Very twisted story. Hopefully, justice will be taken care of in prison, if you know what I mean. I believe we're on, that was episode 8. Try to be more consistent. I promise. I promise. I promise. But do check out the channel. A lot of cool videos going back quite a few years. So famous graves, true crime, roadside attractions, filming locations, yada yada yada. Found a SD card that I thought I had lost. That had a lot of content on it. Found it. So that will be coming out as well. I promise you, fun times ahead. I am Thomas. This has been Crime Tales. I hope all is well. Be back with you next time. A little bit of